But 95, man. I mean, think about that. So, I mean, to say 89, I mean, that means they're first of all, they're talking about the WWF then if they're saying 1989.
Yes.
Because Tully Blanchard's supposed to be at the 1989 Survivor Series, but he's fired, and he technically wrestles on that card, even though he was advertised. He, like John said, he's at Slamboree and does a great build-up for that match of Funk. I mean, epic promo. But 95 with you, I mean, that was a big deal at the time. I mean, and they glance over it. But what do you remember about Tully coming in there in ECW?
Yeah, so when Tully came in, I not knowing him that well, Paul wasn't sure, because Tully knows his way around the ring, right? And if in a working match you expose yourself in some way, feed your back or whatever, selling in a out of the spot or something, that could look bad really quickly, right? So there was this. I wouldn't say it certainly wasn't unprofessional. It was this like push and pull. Tully insisted on going through 60 minutes, and at that point he hadn't been in the ring for several years. And the ECW arena, again, not well ventilated, not air conditioned. I wanted us to go to the ring to at least have to try for the 60, but if we couldn't get there, to have something to fall back on as a stopgap, a safety gap. And he didn't want to do that, and so there was this. I can't remember how it started, who came up with it first, but this, be careful in the ring meme, so that if something should happen, make sure you can take care of that kind of thing. In other words, afraid that if a shoot would break out, if I had turned my back or something and he was able to get the up, that it would really look bad for the title. So I never saw Tully doing that, but my concern was more over the 60 minutes versus the shorter, at least have the safety gap. And when you watch that match in hindsight, it was because it was dragging on and it was apparent that he was having trouble, with that heat and everything in that building. So, but what surprises me about that is because the thing I always hear about Tony Khan when I'm talking to the boys or other people is what a mark he was for ECW. And so to come in and be such a mark for ECW and sort of forget that Tully had wrestled in ECW seems, I think, more than just a little bit quirky.
It's a great point. Absolutely a great point. And it's great. I mean, to go back and watch it, it's just one of those hidden gems of ECW. Because if you think about you and ECW, you think about all the major stuff. Well, this was pretty big freaking deal. What happened?
We had a second match in ECW. It was at a high school.
That's this week in history. That's what this match is.
And where was that? What was the
Northeastern Catholic High School in Philly?
Yeah. Really a pretty cool high school setup. I remember we walked out of the dressing room. We had to walk downstairs to get to the basketball court floor, the arena floor. And then there was a balcony or something up there. It was a really pretty ornate high school gymnasium, older, but pretty fancy setup. And the match there between the two matches, the ECW arena and that match was a much better match. Tully was much more Tully than in the other match. It was one of those things that would just the first match in the arena just didn't connect. It was one of those things where it wasn't for lack of trying on his part or my part. There was just the chemistry was lost someplace. I don't know if he was apprehensive, I was apprehensive, whatever. But the second match in that school, in that high school arena, was a much better match.
Interesting. Was that one that wasn't released at all? I don't think, right?
I don't believe so. I don't. We sort of taped everything. Whether it was through the RF cam or
right,
the fan cam they called it back then. Everything. There was usually a camera of some sort, but I don't recall that being a taping.
Yeah, I don't remember that one at all. And was this the unofficial first ever meeting of the Triple Threat versus the Horsemen?
No, because yeah. Well, yeah. Or no, Arn had come in before that.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was wrestling with
That's
in my
right.
head. Was it Arn or Tully that came first? And Arn had come in first. But, you know, again, when you stop and you think of the business that could have been done with that, the Horseman and the
Yeah.
Triple Threat, you know, it leads a lot of those what if comic books, right? You know, the what ifs.
Bro, I hope you enjoyed that clip. Please remember to ring the bell to get notified, subscribe, and share. And also remember, if you want more premium content, just go to russosbrand.com and patreon.com/Russo TWC. You will get 12 shows a week for under the price of $10. Russo's Brand, where pros are pros.